All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is We Love Comics. And normally I don't do a video this late, but I just got in my 2 EGS books back from being graded. Post office person did not drop off my packages today until 9 p.m. So I don't know why it took so long, but I got a couple of unboxings I'll do later on in the week. But I wanted to do the EGS comic tonight. I have a deal with them like I do with PGX, where they allow me to send in 2 books every month to get pressed, dry cleaned if needed, signature verification if needed, and graded for free. Of course, I have to pay for the shipping and everything. But they get some free advertisement. I get 2 books a month to get graded for free, which I definitely appreciate. And I made sure there is a deal for you guys, so if you ever want to use EGS Comics, if you send in 10 or more books, there's 2 codes that you can use. It's not either or, you can get both. So if you use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you can get one of the 10 books pressed for free. I would recommend mentioning which one, otherwise they'll just randomly pick one. And the other is, you use the code We Love Comics, and you'll get $5 off your first order. Just make sure you mention it, so this way you don't have to worry about them forgetting. But it's my way of making sure that not only do I get something out of it, they get something out of it, but I want to make sure you get something out of it. Daniel, welcome. Looks like the envelope you sent me, for some reason, is going either back to you or someone in Georgia. I don't understand UPS these days, but it is what it is. So I'm glad you're here anyway. I'm not sure which one of these, of the 2 that I've sent in, this is, because they don't grade my books in particular order. So it could be one that I sent in last month, or it could be one from 2 or 3 months ago. It's different with me than it would be with anybody that's paying for the service. I mean, obviously they're going to have priority over the people who are paying for the service. So I know that, and I don't worry about it. So mine are going to take longer, and like I said, they're just going to randomly pick one. It may not be in the order that what they were sent, but I don't care. I appreciate kindness, because Tony over at EGS contacted me, has been watching and subscribed to my channel for years, and likes what I do, and wanted me to do the same thing I do at PGX with them. And he actually almost felt bad that he could only do 2 of them instead of the 4. But I'm not going to complain, because I'm a type of person that appreciates anything. Even if he said I can only do 1. You know, 1 is better than none. That's how I look at it. So shout out to Tony over at EGS. Use those codes if you send in 10 or more books the first time. And before I get started, because I see a couple of people starting to arrive, if you look on the bottom of the screen, there's a whole bunch of comics I'm looking to hopefully acquire via trade. Who knows if it'll ever happen, but I'll keep trying. You never know. I don't worry about every day it fails, because if I have one day where one succeeds, then it will outshine any amount of failure. So if you know anybody that has any of those books and would like to do a trade, I did a video about, back in November of last year, of a whole bunch of books I would be willing to trade for any or all of those books. If there's something that I've seen, that you've seen in the video that I did not put in that video that you think might be, you know, what makes or breaks a deal, contact me, ask me about it. The worst I could say is no, or give you another option. So let's see if I can make that happen. The auction is now officially closed due to some, I guess, comedians last night, or people that were enjoying none of the sales happening. I've decided I might be changing the way I do auctions. I don't know. We'll see what happens, because that's one of the reasons why I do the sneak previews. And I had a couple of people buy some comics, so even though nobody bought any during the auction, and people seem to have enjoyed that fact, just keep in mind the money that I use is not for me to buy a suit or buy a fancy car or go on vacations. It's to get my car fixed and have money to buy, you know, canned food for 20 cats that I feed, stray cats that I feed twice a day every day. So if people are enjoying the fact that, you know, I've reduced the chance of getting those cans quicker than normal, you know, congratulations on that one. So with that being said, people aren't here for the drama, so let's put on the video camera. Here are the two books, as always. The books arrived safely. They actually gave me notification that the comics were sent, and I appreciate that. Like I said, people that do the deals with him, because I'm not the only one, they're treated a little bit differently than a paying customer, so I have no problem with that. But like something like books being sent notification, if you're a paying customer, you're going to have that every time. So mine is a little different situation. This is something that I absolutely love as protection, these rigid cardboard dividers. They put them on the front and the back. Okay, I want to make sure the back shows up. One of the things they listened to me is I said a couple of episodes, a couple of videos in the past where I said, you know, as much as I appreciate these dividers, they should add some padding in between to keep it from moving, and that's exactly what they started doing. So it shows that just like PGX, you know, they pay attention and they listen. They don't just, you know, do whatever they want and not care because they know, you know, most people that make money off of a grading company are just going to let them get away with stuff that they shouldn't get away with. So I appreciate companies that do the right thing, or at least listen. So here are the dividers on the side. It can hold 3 comics in place so they don't move around. So looks like the comics have come to me in great shape. No damage. I'm not going to look at the front because we're going to discover the grades together. I don't know the grades. I never want to know the grades. I like to do it live, so this way I can give a reaction, and we'll see what we have. Okay, so this is the books I sent in December. So this should be Superior Spider-Man #1. This is a signed book. I'm not going to look at the grade, but I want to see... Well, you know what? I don't remember. Oh, it's by Stan Lee. It's been a while. So the signature's right here in silver. There we go. It's hard to see on it because of the silver. But I paid $69.70. So for a Stan Lee book, even though this isn't any kind of major book or anything that they got signed, I mean, usually a Stan Lee signature will raise the value of a book anywhere from $100 to $200. So the fact that I got this book, I bought it obviously raw, and $69.70 is, you know, with, I don't know if at the time they had eBay taxes at that point, but it could have been, who knows. But I predicted this to be between a 9.4 and a 9.8. They did do one of the custom labels, so you could see the Amazing Spider-Man on there, which I thought was pretty cool for this. Now, the way I talk to people about, honestly, with custom labels, it's not my cup of tea. Now, I'm not talking from their standpoint. I'm talking about any grading company. I personally do not feel that spending money on a custom label is worth doing. But the reason I have at least one of the books with a custom label is because these are not supposed to be about me. It's supposed to be about you guys knowing what they do. So even though I don't really care about custom labels, that doesn't mean you might see this and say, you know what, I want to get that on my next purchase. So that's why I add these, but I always give that little disclaimer, and it's not them, it's any grading company. To me, spending $5 on a picture of, you know, Wolverine or something, it doesn't increase the value of the book, and it's just kind of superficial stuff. But as they say, to each their own. Just because I think that way does not mean you have to agree. But that's why exactly when I talked to Tony about that, and he knows what I feel about custom labels, he actually said to me, do you want us to not do it? And I'm like, no, because this is supposed to be for you guys to see. So just because I don't like it or don't prefer it doesn't mean somebody else thinks the same way. And they might see this and say, wow, that's cool, I want to add that. That's exactly why I make sure of the 2 books that I send in, I always make sure one has a custom label, and they change it all the time, so you can see the variety. So if you want to add it to your order, you can. So I said this would be between a 9.4 and a 9.8 with white pages. I don't believe I've gotten a 9.8 yet with any of the books that I've sent in. But, you know, I only want it if it deserves it. So let's see what we got. All right, so we got a 9.4. And again, that's perfectly fine with me. Let's see. Signed by Stan Lee. Oh, it's also Dan Slott. It was hard to see, and it's been a while. You probably won't even be able to... Well, yeah, if I put it on an angle there. I didn't even notice it. I knew it at the time, obviously, but it's in black, right on black. So, I mean, the artists and people who sign comics should really sometimes stop and think, is it a good idea to sign a comic that has a lot of black in the cover with a black pen? I mean, that makes no sense to me. I mean, at least Stan Lee had the common sense of using a silver pen to do his signature. So I totally forgot about that. So luckily they posted it. So they did mark down, because they do signature verification, signed by Stan Lee and Dan Slott. So it is dual signed. They do add grader's notes. Now, that's not on the back of the slab. They add this little index card. So I'm going to read that and see what they say. Superior Spider-Man, say corner, scuff, top and bottom, left front cover. Spine stress, lines, front and back cover. So there you go. Sometimes there's little stuff that you cannot pick up. And like I always say, when it's a higher grade book, I really don't want to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, because you never know. You could end up damaging it. So I'm happy with the 9.4. You know, I'm the type of person all the time that I cannot stand watching videos of people who claim to say they only love comics to read them or just to collect them. And you see them get angry if they think a book is 9.8 and get a 9.4 or a 9.6 or, God forbid, a 9.2. You'd act like, you know, their house was just robbed. And I just think that's ridiculous. And it just shows that the person obviously doesn't care about the comic itself. They care about the value and the money they can get. Because what's the difference between a 9.8 graded book and a 9.2 graded book? The only difference of the comic is the value of it. So if you're claiming that you love comics and you only care about the comic, then you don't care about the grade. So again, to each their own. If somebody needs 9.8s in their life and can't settle for anything less, more power to them. That's not my cup of tea. It could be yours. All right, last one. This one I got years ago. Now, I would love this to be a higher grade, but I remember when I was moving, I had this on a top shelf, and it fell, and I don't know if it bent a little bit, but the corner got dinged. Now, it didn't have color break increases, so a pressing could fix it, but I guess we'll see. So this is obviously Chew #1, which is a great read. As a matter of fact, this is the last modern book I actually read, and it's got a great story. It's got several printings. It is signed. I don't remember who signed it, but obviously when I turn it over, they will show it. So this is their regular label for signature verification. They use the yellow label. So I paid $68.66 for this. This is the first print. And I predicted between, again, a 9.4 to a 9.8. And let's see what we got. Is that a 9.6 or a 9.8? Okay. I thought it was a 9.8, but I'll take a 9.6. It was signed by John Layman, which is the person who wrote the story. So they did verify that first appearance of Tony Chew. And like I said, if you have never read this book, this is a great read. So to pay $65.66. I think I might have said 68. But to spend under $70 for a signed first appearance of Chew, I'll take a 9.6 any day. So very happy with that. So those are your two books. Oh, well, let me read the greatest notes on the back. Corner scuff, top and bottom, left front cover. Spine stress, front cover. So obviously minor stuff to be able to get the 9.6. So 9.6 Chew #1, very happy with that. And Superior Spider-Man #1, dual sign Dan Slott and Stan Lee. So I think, especially for the price I bought those for, definitely will do well. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll put it on an auction where no one will auction and bid on them. So sometimes you just got to have a sense of humor. You know, they can't all be winners, so that's why I'm not too worried. I was actually, to be honest, 2 books I was amazed that no one inquired about. Amazing Spider-Man #252 at a CGC 9.8. That blew me away that no one asked for that book. And Hulk 181. The fact that I was selling a Hulk 181, which I don't have to do, and I was doing it just to give somebody a chance to own a book because I have 5 other copies of it. The fact that no one bid on it or even asked about it, it blows my mind. But that auction is now past. I'm not selling any of those books. The availability for them has gone. So I'll just wait for the movies to come out, and that Hulk 181, one day somebody will spend $3,000-4,000 on it, and people will wish they would have gotten it for what I was selling it for. But hey, you know, I don't blame people, by the way, that may not have the money to do it. That wasn't why I was upset last night at my auction. There were people in the live chat that seemed to be very happy with the fact that no one was bidding on my auctions. And I thought the childish way some people were commenting during the live show got very annoying after a while. And that's why by the end I was just like, I don't even want to do this, and I just shut it off because I didn't care. But those people, I view them like mosquitoes or fleas. They might sting you for a second, but you slap them and flip them off and they're gone. So they might have had a moment of self-pleasure for themselves, which I'm sure they were doing, but it's not going to stop me. Because, like I said, even with no one bidding on any comic, which blows me away, like I said, I still made about $1,100. 2 of the payments were supposed to be here. One is on its way back to the owner. I don't know. I mean, it's not their fault. It's UPS's fault, the Postal Service. And the other one forgot to sign the money order, so technically I haven't received any money yet. But they're 2 people that have worked with me constantly. They've bought from me before, and I'm not worried one bit. Both of them are very honorable. But they bought some big boy books, and they know the value, so it is what it is. So anyway, if you want to thumb it up, that's great. If you got annoyed by the things I said and it irritates you and you don't like me and you want to hit the thumbs down button, by all means, if it makes you feel good, please do it. And I want to thank you guys for being here. And we're going to pick Daniel Cochran as today's surprise subscriber shout-out. So he knows the deal. And actually, he's one of the few people that will actually post the link in the comments section. So many people that have had the surprise subscriber shout-out never post anything. It is what it is. Thank you so much for watching. I see Tony from EGS is here. Welcome, sir. Good to see you. Everybody go to his website. Like I said, if you send 10 or more books with EGS, use the code We Love Comics Free Press, and they will press one of them for free. And you can get $5 off your first order. Just make sure you mention them. It's not either or. You get both. So I think that's a really nice thing to do. And I love companies that work with you. So give them a try if you haven't. Let me know what you think about the AI art. If you want to comment about it, that's awesome. Usually I get 2 or 3 comments on a video. So if you want to be one of those 2, please do. And who knows, on the bottom of the screen, maybe one day I'll get one of those comics via trade. If you know anybody that has them and wants to do a trade, please send them my way. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful night. And don't forget, it's